The Magic Paintbrush, Chapter 13. It all happened so quickly. Another second, and the monster disappeared in the clouds. "Hello!" Amy screamed. There was no reply but her own wheezing and the wail of far-off sirens. Then, "Amy," a muffled voice called from the next room. "Is that you? If it is, can you make the building stop spinning?" "I can't. My feet are all tangled up. Oops!" "Luna!" She darted down the hall, scrambling over the upturned cabinet, crunching glass between her shoes. She found Luna stumbling around her bedroom, shaking his head. "I think something hit me," he said. Some of its feathers were crushed, and a few had fallen off entirely. A long scratch cut across his flank. "I see two of you, Amy. Are there two of you?" Amy pressed her face against his fur, tried to catch her breath and get her thoughts in order. She'd just started using the jade brush last night, and now a monster had kidnapped Lau, a monster searching for a paintbrush. It couldn't be a coincidence. Diego had been right to worry about curses. "Let's get out of here," she said. The sirens were getting closer. Underneath them, she thought she heard Diego's voice yelling at someone. She hoped that they were keeping him back, keeping him safe. "We have to sneak, though, okay? Remember what I said about keeping low?" "Low," Luna slurred. His eyes looked dazed. "Sure, Amy. Wait. But wait. What about your grandma?" Amy swallowed. "The monster took her." "Monster?" Some of the confusion cleared from Luna's face. He stiffened. "Where?" "The monster that broke the apartment." Amy's hands shook as she pushed Luna toward the hall. "It's gone now. It flew off with Lau. "That does make things trickier," Luna said. Amy wasn't sure what he meant, but he was moving better now, in a straight line even, and that was the important thing. She needed to get him outside before another piece of the building tumbled down. They'd meet up with Diego, and then she'd figure out a way to help Lau. But how? "What do you think?" Luna asked. Amy kicked aside a pile of shattered ceramics so he wouldn't cut his paws. "Think about what?" "Wings," Luna said very seriously, "so we can chase the monster. We won't get very far without wings." A disbelieving laugh rattled from Amy's chest. "Us? Who else?" "I'm a kid," Amy sputtered, "and you weren't even alive until yesterday." "I can definitely still smell it." Luna closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. "I'm sure I could track it." "Luna." Amy tried to be patient. If she concentrated, she could pick out the creature's mildewy scent too, like a bottom of an algae-slimed well. But that didn't mean they should run after it. "You have to be realistic. We can't just. The floor shifted. She yelped, grabbing onto Luna. Outside, someone yelled with a megaphone, "Stand clear! Stand clear!" The police had arrived. Amy imagined telling an officer that her grandmother had been kidnapped by a 15-foot-tall monster with wings. They'd drag her to a hospital and check her for a concussion. They'd waste so much time Lau didn't have. "We can't what?" Luna asked, once they'd found their footing. Despite his gashed side and disheveled feathers, his eyes glinted with a confidence Amy wished she had. He looked so sure of himself that Amy wavered. "You really think we could track it?" "Oh, definitely," Luna said. "For sure. Absolutely." Amy unzipped her book bag and reached for her paints. The quicker she did this, the less time she had to realize how utterly unhinged it was. Wings. Luna needed wings. She thought about the empty orange, the soap-sud ice cream, the disintegrated boots. Her vision blurred with frustrated tears as she flipped to Luna's painting. This was too much pressure. If she hadn't gotten it right the whole morning, why would she now? But she had to get it right. Lau's life depended on it. "Amy?" Gently, Luna laid his long neck across her shoulders and tucked his head beside hers. She leaned into him. "I used to have wings, remember?" he said. "There was that period in first grade when you gave everything wings." Amy sniffed. "You looked better without them." "I look good with everything," Luna said primly. "Not dragonfly wings." "Well, how about bat wings, then? You want bat wings like that monster?" "Okay, maybe not." The easy back and forth reminded her of brainstorming comic book pages with Diego, the two of them oohing over each other's work, thrilled at the story that created between them both. Back then, she hadn't worried about her art being good enough. Amy looked at the jade paintbrush, then she closed her eyes and let an image of Luna fill her imagination. Let herself smile at the familiar shape of him, her creation, lovingly drawn and redrawn until she'd worn off the generic sharp edges, until she'd made him hers. Even now her heart warmed, and suddenly, like a drop of paint in water, something else bloomed in her mind. A foreign presence. It was faint, too faint to notice if you weren't paying attention. It looked at her image of Luna, too, and it seemed pleased. Amy kept tabs on it as she mentally sketched a pair of wings on Luna's back. Said the presence. Or not said exactly, but Amy got the meaning. She filled in the details of Luna's new wings, and it felt it contributing. Together, they put in the finishing touches. Amy opened her eyes. Her hands moved. Paint swooped across the page. Brown, gold, white. "Ooh," Luna said. "Oh, wow, that tickles." Amy dropped the brush, too afraid to look. Then she lifted her head. A grin broke across her face. There, erupting graceful and golden from Luna's shoulder blades, was a pair of eagle wings.